Hi and welcome. My name is Tolan and I'm the co-founder of Productivity Me. In this video, we're going to look at how to navigate within Microsoft Excel. We'll discuss some of the specifics of how you can do so for different workbooks or different worksheets. So if you're interested in that, join us for this video. If you want to follow along, go ahead and open up exercise file 02.07. All right, so first let's discuss the idea of how to navigate with using your mouse, and then we'll look at different keyboard strategies to navigate within Microsoft Excel. So as you may have gathered from previous videos in this course, you can use your mouse and you can click anywhere in your active worksheet. So you can just use your mouse to click. And once you click, that would become your active cell. So if I click here in cell A1 is now my active file. Now you can use your mouse to navigate up here to the quick access toolbar, to the Excel ribbon, to your formula bar, status bar. You can use your mouse really, or your cursor, your trackpad, to navigate all over Microsoft Excel's interface. Now, you can also use your mouse or your cursor to navigate between individual workbooks. So if you wanted to do that, you would bring your cursor down here and then say that you wanted to go to the second workbook, that workbook called Keyboard Movement. You would left click, and left clicking would open up that workbook. If you want to go to sheet 1, you'd bring your cursor over above sheet 1 and click, or click, click, so on and so forth. Now, if you wanted to use your keyboard, there's a couple of different ways that you can do that. First, let's look at using your keyboard to navigate between individual cells. If you were, say, here and you wanted to move to the cell below you, you could press the Enter key, or as an alternative, you can press the down arrow. Presuming that you're in the status of ready, pressing either the Enter key or the down arrow will move you down one cell at a time. If you want to move up, you can either use your up arrow or you can press the Shift key and the Enter key, and that too would move you up one cell at a time. So again, you can press the up arrow or Shift up. Now, if you want to move to your right, the way to do that would be either press your right arrow on your keyboard, or you can press the Tab key. So irrespective of whether I press the right arrow or the Tab key, presuming that my status here is ready, then you can move to the right. If you want to move to the left, you would press either the left arrow key, or the combination of Shift Tab. So Shift Tab and the left arrow key have the same effect. Now, you can also scroll between individual portions of your Excel document. You can do this by using your mouse and the scroll bar. Each time you click here, you would move over one column at a time, or you can use the scroll bar here to click down and move down a set of cells at a time. Now, if you wanted to, you could also use your keyboard to do this. If you wanted to scroll over one screen width, you can press the Alt key and the page down key. That will move you from where you were, essentially showing columns A through P, and then you press Alt page down on your keyboard, and that would show columns Q through AI. If we press Alt page down again, we'll go AJ through BB. Now, if you want to move in the opposite direction, you would again press the Alt key, and then rather than press page down, you would press page up. So Alt page up will bring you over one screen. Now I'm holding the Alt key, and then if I press page up again, it would bring me back to that individual status. So there are two ways to scroll. One would be to use your individual scroll bars here and your mouse, or if you preferred, you could also use the keyboard combination of Alt page down to move one screen to your left, rather one screen to your right. And if you wanted to move in the opposite direction, essentially one screen to your left, you would press the Alt key and the page up key. Now, what if you want to move one screen down? If you want to move one screen down, you could again use your scroll bar, click these little arrows, or instead, you can press the page down key. So if you press the page down key on your keyboard, you'll notice that we went from row 1 through row 20 to now 21 through 40, and then this will be 41 through 60. If we want to move up in the opposite direction, again, we could either use our scroll bar here, or we can use the page up key. Pressing the page up key on our keyboard will scroll us one length upwards. So again, you can use Alt page down to move one screen to your right, Alt page up to move one screen to your left, page down to move one screen below, or page up to move one screen above. Now, that essentially covers this individual set of keyboard shortcuts. Now, you can also move between your ranges. So say that we have this range here, right? So technically it's the range of B1 through this cell, which is F6, so B1 through F6. If you want to go to the rightmost portion of your range, you can of course click with your mouse. If you wanted to go back, you could click, or you can use a combination of, let's say, Control right arrow. So pressing Control right arrow will move you to the right portion. Control left arrow will move you to the individual left portion of that range. You can press Control up arrow or Control down arrow, up arrow, down arrow. So there are different keyboard shortcuts that you can use for moving between individual ranges. Now, if you wanted to, you can also use the home key. Pressing the home key would automatically bring you to the first visible column in that specific row. Because I was here in column, or rather cell I4, when I press the home key, it will bring me to that cell of A4, because A is currently visible. And we'll discuss the idea of visible and hidden columns in a future video, but just know that pressing the home key will bring you back to whatever the most accessible column is in this row, and it will keep you in this individual row of row 4. So if I were here and I wanted to jump to the beginning, if I wanted to go to this cell here, A8, you could press the home key, and let me do that again. You'd press the home key and it would bring you there. Now if you press the N key, pressing the N key will activate what's called N mode, and you press that, it will go to the end of your range. So home will go to the beginning of your row, and then pressing end will go to the end of your range. All right, so lastly, if you want to go to the beginning of your range, so the beginning of your range, you would press Control home. That would always bring you to this first cell, that of most often would be A1. If you want to go to the end of your range, you would press Control end, and it would go to the cell that you've most recently put data in. So if we were to say put data in here, let's put in the value of 90, we press Control home, it will go to cell A1. We press the keyboard shortcut of Control end, it would go to this column G25. Then we'll delete the data by pressing delete. We'll press Control home, and then when we want to go to the end of our specific active document, it would be that of G25. So again, in this video, we covered a lot of different information. We looked at using our mouse to do things like click to individual cells, to scroll between individual worksheets. We then looked at how to use the keyboard to do these individual things. So if we press the down key or enter key, it would move us downward to the cell below us. If we press the up arrow or shift enter, those combinations would move us up one cell. If we press the right arrow or the tab key, that would move us to the right, or the left arrow or the combination of shift tab will move us to the left. We then looked at the idea of using these little scroll bars to scroll to our right or to our left. We can also use Alt page down, Alt page up, or page down and page up to move between these individual items. And then lastly, we looked at the idea of using things like the Control right arrow, Control left arrow, Control up arrow, Control down arrow, or things like the home key, the end key, the Control home combination, or Control end keyboard combinations. Now, there's a lot of things we didn't cover, or perhaps we didn't cover them with enough clarity or explanations. If that's the case, please let us know by posting things in the comment sections, and we'll try to consider different ways to more succinctly or more clearly present this information. We'll try to answer your questions, and we'll really appreciate you providing feedback. In the next video, we're going to look at the idea of how to use the shortcuts menu and the mini toolbar within Microsoft Excel, and how you can use those two functionalities to more efficiently use Microsoft Excel. All right, join us for that in the next video, and as always, thanks for watching.